Welcome everybody, you're watching Mr. Fugu Data Science. Today we're going to use pip installation on Mac OS. I'm showing two versions, ensurepip and the curl request version, getpip.py. These are going to be running the terminal. Feel free to skip ahead if you want to deal with those. Make sure you understand the difference between using either of those for your installation. Thanks for watching. Right here are my socials. Feel free to get a hold of me. The code will be in the link in the description below. Thank you to all my channel members and anyone who's gave encouragement or ideas for videos over time. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. I need to preface with this before we move any further because this is going to come up in a future video and it's extremely important, and it happened to me recently and messed me up for a few weeks now. If you have an older operating system, please make sure a few things. One, if you're updating to a newer version of Python, make sure it's compatible with your OS for Mac. Two, if you have an older Mac and your operating system is not serviced anymore through them, there's a way to get around that because you may be hardware limited, you may have dependency issues, you may have an older version of Python that you can't update because now you can't update your OS. We'll get into that in another video because it's extremely important. Let's clarify something. Downloading from source, such as python.org, as of Python 3.4, pip is installed, or using the homebrew package manager, pip should be installed. Now, why are we going to install pip separately? If you have a virtual machine, if you're doing a second installation, if you downloaded and uninstalled and now you need to do it again, that's the purpose of this. Pip, what is it if you're unfamiliar? It's a package manager. You're basically installing external packages or dependencies via the command line. If you decide to get this, you're going to get a bunch of links to stuff you can read, which is extremely helpful and help you out in the long run for understanding what's going on and how to troubleshoot. When you're dealing with a Mac, you have two locations for Python. Here they are. You don't want to go around messing with these unless you absolutely have to. For instance, getting rid of an older version of Python you don't use, getting rid of dependencies which may be messing you up. These are two things that may come up where you may need to do this, but don't delete the whole folders. We can run these two commands in the command line, see what they do, tell us where Python is and what we have installed. So I throw in which -a Python 3 and it tells me I have Python 3.6 and 3.10. It gives me the library frameworks and the user local bin. So I know those are two good locations. We also have an issue. If I'm doing any updates, where is it going? If I'm messing around with pip, is it going to 3.6? Is it going to 3.10? Can we deal with this? And how? What's the point of that? It allows you to understand, okay, where are things getting located and what do I actually have on my system right now? You can run which Python 3, which pip 3, find out where they are, and if they are on your system, it'll give you a path. Let's look at ensurepip. This is good if you have an existing version of Python. Again, this is good if you have an existing version of Python installed or it's in your virtual environment. Let's look at this. You could just pause the video and use this right here. Python -m ensurepip -- upgrade. That -m is extremely important because it's helping you with version control and where it's setting up on the machine and not going to conflict with that Python 3.6, Python 3.10. It's going to go to that newer version which was installed. It stands for module. If you're in a position where you don't want the entire machine to have access for multiple users, like if this is a work computer, then you can have this added in, -- user. When you're using this, you would have to put it in. You could also do the same thing if you're dealing with your root directory or your virtual environment. Pause the video. I can zoom in and show you, or we can see where this is on GitHub. It's right here at this github.com/pypa/git-p. What's going on with this really? Because you see this big bold thing saying, oh my gosh, I have an inconsistent environment issue that I have to take into account. Yeah, you do. Because if you're doing system-wide installs of Python, you can get dependency issues. This is what happened to me. I spent a great deal of time having to sort through this lately. And one of the upcoming videos will be showing the version control. The short of the story, just pay attention to what you're doing. Let's get on the Python to see why. You can see here, you can see that -m. That's going to come up again and again and again. This is off the official documentation of python.org in the packages section. Here's that ensurepip. That's the first issue that we're going to work with. You have Python already, you're trying to do the install, bam, you throw that in. This is throwing the default version. If this doesn't work, it tells you get that second version here through a secure download. Let's do this. This is the bootstrapping method we're going to use. This is just all the documentation for it. Here's where we need to pay attention. Right here. You see this big thing. Warning, be cautious if you're using a Python install that's managed by your operating system or another packaging manager. Git-pip pip.py does not coordinate with your tools, and it may give you an inconsistent state for your computer. If you're going to use it, you can use this version right here that I have highlighted. We're just doing the -- prefix equals /user/local, and this is designated to your local installation. I suggest you go in and you read this so you understand what's going on, but I needed to preface it and make sure you understand this. Most people are just going to copy paste and not even care. Here's the bootstrapping method right here. You just input that command, cut and paste it, easy, it downloads, then you do your second command here. But instead of this second command, if you're absolutely sure you want to avoid some issues, go back and just put this instead. Now, if you're needing the wheel or setup tools, I suggest that you download those too. Here's something I need to mention also. So for version control, if you're using a virtual environment, let's say you're using Anaconda, which has a virtual environment as well, something where you're containing all of your dependencies, making requirements text, things like this, you need version control. This is how you would set it up if you're doing that installation, needing a specific version of something. I suggest you go on this GitHub repository here, github.com/pypa/git-pip, and read through this before you just start downloading everything. After you download all that, you can figure out what pip version you have in the command line, and you can do the same thing with the Python and the pip. Let's just copy that real quick. So now we have Python 3 with pip installed in this location, with pip being pip 23.01. If you needed to update, you could just run this as well. Now, depending on your system, you may need to alias it, or for instance, like if you had an older version of pip, which is from an older version of Python, and instead you would have to do pip 3 or something like this, or pip 3.10, which I have all three of those. You could change in the terminal and do an aliasing. And lastly, consider a virtual environment, either the VNV or using Anaconda, Miniconda, or any other GUI that has something like that you can use, because it's going to help you with version control and not having issues later. Please consider that. But thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Remember, here's my socials. Hit me up. I'll see you in the next video. I need to take care of Windows machines and Linux, which may be 1 or 2 videos, and then dealing with legacy Mac OS versions with a bootloader will be in another video, and then after that we'll see where we go. Have a good one. Bye.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always